Very good morning. I'm Smriti Rastogi with Breakfast News. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines of this morning. Amit Shah, Smriti Irani and Ahmed Patel win Rajya Sabha polls from Gujarat. The Election Commission declares 2 votes of dissent MLAs who cross-voted invalid. Justice Deepak Mishra, the senior-most judge of the Supreme Court, appointed next Chief Justice of India. He takes office on August 28th. Shia Central Waqf Board of Uttar Pradesh offers solution to Ayodhya dispute in Supreme Court, says mosque could be built at reasonable distance from the disputed site. Two massive quakes rock China, over 100 feared killed, several injured. National work team sent to guide relief work. And North Korea threatens missile strikes near US Pacific territory of Guam. Threat after US President warned it would face unprecedented fire and fury. BJP President Amit Shah, Union Minister Smriti Irani and Congress leader Ahmed Patel have been declared victories in the Rajya Sabha elections in Gujarat that concluded on Tuesday. Patel's victory was sealed after the votes of the 2 dissent Congress MLAs who voted for the BJP were declared invalid by the Election Commission.
चुनाव आयोग ने वोटों की गिनती के बाद जो रिजल्ट डिक्लेरेशन के लिए क्लियरेंस दिया है मुझे, वो क्लियरेंस के मुताबिक कांग्रेस पार्टी स्पॉन्सर्ड कैंडिडेट अहमद मोहम्मद पटेल ने 4,400 वोट लिया है, उसके खाते में है और उसको मैं डिक्लेयर इलेक्टेड करता हूं। दूसरा, बीजेपी स्पॉन्सर कैंडिडेट शाह अमित भाई अनिल चंद्र, उन्होंने 4,600 वोट पोल्ड किया है, उसको भी मैं डिक्लेयर इलेक्टेड करता हूं। तीसरी सीट के लिए बीजेपी स्पॉन्सर्ड श्रीमती स्मृति जुबिन ईरानी, उन्होंने भी 4,600 वोट पोल्ड किया है, उसको भी मैं डिक्लेयर इलेक्टेड करता हूं।
The results of the bitterly fought Rajya Sabha elections in Gujarat declared late last night. While Amit Shah and Smriti Irani cruised through, Congress's lone candidate Ahmed Patel beat the BJP's Balwant Singh Rajput.
जो जिस माहौल बनाया था आप अच्छी तरह से जानते हैं, उसके बावजूद भी ये जीत हुई है। ये मेरी जीत नहीं है, मैं तो बहुत छोटा आदमी हूँ। सबने साथ मिलकर काम किया, वो सबकी जीत है और इससे पार्टी एक मजबूत होकर बाहर आई है। तो 2017 के चुनाव में हम लोग बिल्कुल कांग्रेस चुनाव जीतेगी और बीजेपी को हराएंगे।
Patel secured 44 votes and Rajput secured 38. The results came after dramatic developments last night with the EC's decision to cancel the votes of 2 Congress MLAs who had voted for the BJP. That brought down the requirement for an outright victory for a candidate from 45 to 44.
2 वोट था, वायलेशन ऑफ पोल वोटिंग प्रोसीजर और सीक्रेसी ऑफ वोटिंग, उसको कैंसिल करने का चुनाव आयोग का आदेश था, तो जो मैंने बिफोर काउंटिंग उसको अलग करके रद्द कर दिया।
ये उन विधायकों की जीत है, ना मेरी, ना अहमद भाई की, ना कांग्रेस की। ये ईमानदारी की जीत है और मैं मेरे विधायक साथियों को सैल्यूट करता हूं।
ये चुनाव में सत्य की जीत हुई है। मैं सलाम करता हूं हमारे एमएलए को जो खड़े रहे ऐसे मनी पावर के सामने, मसल पावर के सामने और बड़े पावरफुल लोगों के सामने। ऐसी यही डेमोक्रेसी है।
Chief Minister Vijay Rupani said that the BJP would legally challenge the EC's decision rejecting the votes of 2 Congress MLAs who had backed the BJP.
चुनाव आयोग का ये डिसीजन से हम सम्मत नहीं है। आने वाले दिन में हम कानूनी लड़ाई लड़ेंगे और न्याय पाएंगे।
BJP chief Amit Shah makes his maiden entry into the House of Elders. He, along with the other party nominee and Information and Broadcasting Minister Smriti Irani, 46 votes each. Ahmed Patel's win was celebrated by party workers in the state and in Delhi. Assembly polls will be held in Gujarat later this year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Janata Dal United removed Arun Srivastava from the post of Party General Secretary. He is accused of unauthorizedly writing to the returning officer of Gujarat Assembly, appointing an election agent for the crucial Rajya Sabha election. Srivastava is considered a close confidant of the senior party leader Sharad Yadav. The lone JDU MLA in Gujarat, Chotu Vaswa, claimed he voted for Congress's nominee Ahmed Patel in the Rajya Sabha polls. The JDU MLA's claim of voting for the Congress nominee comes at a time when the party has forged ties with the BJP in Bihar to form the government. KC Tyagi showed a letter of JDU President Nitish Kumar written to the returning officer of Rajya Sabha elections in Gujarat, authorizing only Tyagi to appoint authorized agent and to take all the steps in Rajya Sabha elections. But Srivastava wrote to the returning officer of Gujarat legislature without the authority. The Election Commission told the Supreme Court that it will be able to conduct the upcoming Gujarat Assembly polls using EVMs with paper trail if it gets 73,500 VVPAT machines by September from the manufacturers. It said that around 48,000 units were expected to be delivered by the Bharat Electronics Limited and Electronics Corporation of India Limited by August 31st, while another 25,500 such units would be delivered by September. The VVPAT machine is connected with EVMs and dispenses a paper proof for the voters so that they can verify their vote is cast correctly. The ECI further said that currently it was in possession of 53,500 VVPAT units. The poll panel maintained that EVMs cannot be tampered with. The Gujarat polls are scheduled later this year. The Rajya Sabha proceedings were washed away on Tuesday as the opposition alleged that 2 types of 500 rupee notes were being printed. The Congress called it the century's biggest scam. The government refuted the allegations and slammed the opposition for raising frivolous issues and obstructing the proceedings of the House.
As the House met, Congress member Kapil Sibal alleged that the Reserve Bank of India was printing 2 types of Rs 500 currency notes. Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad then alleged that demonetization was the biggest scam of this century.
Reserve Bank of India 2 किस्म के नोट छपती है, छपाती है, different size के, different size के, different design के, different features के.
Sir, how is the point of that is the correct point. How it can be the point of order? You have to follow the rule. This is a misuse of the
सदन के पटल पे रखे हैं.
Now, Kapil Sibal ji, bring a substantive motion.
Authenticate किया है मैंने.
अच्छा ठीक है,
Authenticate किया है. सदन के पटल पे रखे हैं. और दोनों नोट के साइज डिफरेंट है.
इस सेंचुरी का सबसे बड़ा स्कैम है. ये इस सेंचुरी का सबसे बड़ा स्कैम है कि गवर्नमेंट ही 2 किस्म के नोट छापती है.
Opposition leaders like TMC's Derek O'Brien, JDU's Sharad Yadav and Samajwadi Party's Naresh Agarwal also joined ranks with the Congress over the issue.
Mr. Kapil Sibal has raised an issue. It's a serious issue and the rule is 258. Please look at 258. No, yes. So give him a chance to raise it. 258. Look at the notes. So you look at the notes. Reserve Bank note छापे, 2 तरह के नोट नहीं छप सकते. ये कैसे छपे सरकार को जवाब देना पड़ेगा. ये साइन मैं दे सकता हूँ आपके सामने. साइन करके दे सकता हूँ.
लग रहा है देश में 2 तरीके के नोट चल रहे हैं. ये बहुत गंभीर मामला है और चूंकि सरकार इसका जवाब नहीं दे रही, हटवाता है तो समाजवादी पार्टी सदन से वॉकआउट करती है.
The Samajwadi Party staged a walkout from the House over the issue. Rejecting all claims, the government accused the Congress of spreading rumours in the country and slammed it for disrupting House proceedings.
There are rules under which you give notice. You start raising issues with regard to the currency of the country in this manner and such irresponsible statements are made. There is a misuse of 0 hour going on and it should not be permitted at all.
जो देश में अफवाह फैलाने का काम कर रहे हैं, वो भ्रष्टाचारी, वो घोटालेबाज जो इससे हताश हुए हैं, डिमोनेटाइजेशन से किनारे पड़ गए हैं, उनको कहीं न कहीं इस तरह की चीजों से उनको मदद मिलेगी. इसलिए
As the Congress trooped into the well of the House, 0 hour and question hour could not be taken up. Even in the post-lunch session, there were little signs of any respite. As the Congress continued to protest, the chair adjourned the House till Wednesday. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Lok Sabha was adjourned for the day after an hour and 20 minutes of proceedings on Tuesday. This after the Congress raised the issue of attack on Rahul Gandhi's convoy in Gujarat last week, which led to the war of words between the Congress and the BJP. While the Congress alleged that Rahul Gandhi could have been seriously hurt in the attack, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said that Gandhi has been flouting the SPG cover on a number of occasions.
Lok Sabha was adjourned until Wednesday after the Congress raised the issue of recent attack on Rahul Gandhi's convoy. As soon as Lok Sabha met for the day, Congress members entered the well saying Rahul Gandhi could have been seriously harmed.
कांग्रेस उपाध्यक्ष श्री राहुल गांधी जी हमारे राष्ट्रीय नेता हैं। उन्होंने बाढ़ से बुरी तरह प्रभावित क्षेत्रों का दौरा करने के लिए गुजरात बनासकांठा पहुंचे थे। उन पर जानलेवा हमला हुआ, उनके ऊपर पत्थर फेंके गए। इस हमले में राहुल गांधी जी बाल बचे, लेकिन उनकी गाड़ी के शीशे भी टूट गए। अगर पीछे सीट में गिरने के बजाय अगर आगे गिर जाती तो उनकी जान चले जाती थी।
A war of words broke out in the House after Mallikarjuna Kharge accused BJP workers for acting as terrorists for pelting stones, a comment which BJP demanded to be expunged.
मैंने इसी सदन में बीजेपी के बहुत से बड़े नेता और सरकार के ओर से भी एक वक्तव्य आया था कि जम्मू कश्मीर में जो पथरावबाजी हो रहे थे वो टेररिस्ट कर रहे हैं, ये हम सब मानते हैं। लेकिन गुजरात में कौन से टेररिस्ट आए, वो कौन से थे, मैं वो पूछना चाहता हूँ। क्या जम्मू कश्मीर से टेररिस्ट आए थे? क्या गुजरात में बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता टेररिस्ट बन के इनकी जान लेना चाहते थे?
बड़ा अपमानजनक बात किया है, उसको पूरा एक्सपंज करना चाहिए।
अगर कुछ भी गलत है तो
गुजरात के जनता को, गुजरात के कार्यकर्ताओं को कश्मीर के इसमें क्या करना, ये सारा गलत है।
Responding to Kharge's allegation, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said that the Congress Vice President has violated the security protocol on several occasions in India and abroad. Singh said in the last 2 years, Rahul Gandhi travelled abroad on 6 occasions for 72 days without taking any SPG security along. Rajnath also rejected the claim that Rahul was not provided adequate security during the Gujarat visit.
और पिछले 2 वर्षों में श्री गांधी 6 विदेशी दौरों में 72 दिन बाहर रहे हैं। इन 72 दिनों की अवधि में एसपीजी कवर उनके साथ नहीं रखा गया है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, देश जानना चाहेगा, सदन जानना चाहेगा कि विदेश में कहां गए, क्यों नहीं उन्होंने एसपीजी कवर लिया। एसपीजी कवर तो इसीलिए मिला हुआ था, वो चाहे देश में रहें अथवा विदेश में रहें, बराबर एसपीजी कवर उनके साथ रहेगा। लेकिन जानबूझकर एसपीजी कवर को इसी देश में छोड़ देते हैं और वह विदेशों की यात्रा करते हैं।
Singh's sharp attack highlighted Gandhi's trips abroad, an issue which the BJP has often highlighted. His remarks led Congress members to troop into the well with placards. Rahul and party president Sonia Gandhi were not present in the House. Last week, a stone was hurled at Rahul Gandhi's car during his visit to the flood-affected areas in Gujarat's Banaskantha district. The Congress leadership blamed the BJP for the attack, while the BJP called it a political stunt ahead of the assembly elections in the state. Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
Former Union Minister and Member of Parliament from Ajmer, Sanwarlal Jat, passed away this morning in Delhi. He was undergoing treatment at AIIMS. Jat had fainted during a meeting of Rajasthan BJP MLAs and MPs with party chief Amit Shah in Jaipur on July 22nd. He was rushed to Savai Mansingh Hospital in Jaipur and later shifted to AIIMS in Delhi. Jat was elected to Rajasthan Assembly 5 times between 1990 and May 2014. He had served as Minister of State for Water Resources in the Narendra Modi government. Prime Minister Modi also expresses shock over his demise. Meanwhile, Justice Deepak Mishra, the senior-most judge of the Supreme Court, has been appointed as the next Chief Justice of India. Mishra will be the 45th Chief Justice of India, succeeding incumbent J.S. Khehar. Justice Mishra will have a tenure of over 13 months as the CJI after he takes over on August 28th. Incumbent Chief Justice of India, J.S. Khehar, will retire on August 27th. And on to some more news. The Shia Central Waqf Board of Uttar Pradesh has offered a solution to the Ram Temple Babri Masjid dispute in the Supreme Court. It has told the court that a mosque could be built in a Muslim-dominated area at a reasonable distance from the disputed site of Ayodhya. With this submission, the Shia board becomes the first Muslim organization to come out in support of the demand of various Hindu bodies on the Ayodhya issue. The Hindu bodies, while demanding that Ram Temple be allowed to be constructed at the disputed site, have suggested that a mosque could be built at a distance away from the area. The affidavit disputed the claim of the Sunni Waqf Board, saying Babri Masjid site was its property and only it was entitled to hold negotiations for an amicable settlement of the dispute. The affidavit is important as it has been filed within few days of the Apex Court agreeing to fast-track the hearing on a batch of appeals challenging the Allahabad High Court verdict on the land dispute in the case. And with that, time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
RSS killings. Do these killings happen because of the ideological intolerance, or is it because of the political desperation?
This question should be addressed to the CPIM. Whenever the Left Democratic Front is in power, there is increase in these kinds of murderous politics.
Talking about the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, is it really going to be a cakewalk for BJP?
We never take elections lightly. We are fighting elections to win them.
After 70 years of independence, do we really need to redefine patriotism and nationalism?
We don't require to redefine it. It is people who are looking for some plank or the other to hit BJP.
Watch To The Point with National Vice President of BJP, Vinay Sahasrabudhe, only on Rajya Sabha television.
The Congress Working Committee in its meeting in New Delhi passed a resolution on the eve of 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement on Tuesday. The party resolved to fight back and defeat forces which seek to destroy India's secular and democratic constitution. Recalling the sacrifices of millions of people, the committee resolved to uphold, preserve and restore the ideals and values of the national movement. The CWC also expressed concern over alleged planned assaults on fundamental values of the country and constitutional rights of citizens. The party passed a resolution stating it always stood for a secular, democratic and inclusive India.
कांग्रेस ने कभी हिंसा के सामने सर नहीं झुकाया और अपने सिद्धांतों पर कांग्रेस अडिग रही है। आज के समय में जो भारत के संवैधानिक मूल्यों पर और उस समय के सिद्धांत और भावना पर चोट पहुंचाई जा रही है, उसका निरंतर विरोध करने का भी हमने निर्णय किया है। एक लड़ाई लड़ने का उन लोगों, उन शक्तियों के खिलाफ जो हमारी साझा विरासत को चोट पहुंचाते हैं और इतिहास को एक गलत तरीके से देश के लोगों को पेश करते हैं।
And now the news from Jammu and Kashmir, where one army Jawan was killed in Pakistani firing from across the line of control in the Poonch district of the state on Tuesday. Army said Pakistani troops initiated unprovoked firing on the Indian post in Krishan Ghati sector on Tuesday afternoon, in which Sepoy Pawan Singh Sukra was seriously injured. He later succumbed to the injuries. Indian Army retaliated strongly and effectively. 21-year-old Sepoy Sukra belonged to village Sukri in Chaurpal area of the district Pithoragarh in Uttarakhand. On Monday, an army Jawan was injured in ceasefire violation by the Pakistani troops in the Uri sector of Baramulla district. Now let's take a look at other national news and developments nationwide. A woman drowned and 5 others are missing after their boat capsized in Parban River in Jalawar district of Rajasthan. Rescue teams have fished out the woman's body, which is yet to be identified. The boat carrying 15 people, including 4 boatmen, capsized near Akrela city of the district. Meanwhile, teams were deployed at different spots to find out the missing persons. The Sri Lankan Navy on Tuesday arrested 48 fishermen from Tamil Nadu after firing in the air. 12 mechanized boats of the fishermen were also seized. The incident prompted Chief Minister K. Palaniswamy to write a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi stating that the action was totally unacceptable, recalling his earlier request that a strong diplomatic offensive should be launched to prevent the recurrence of such incidents. Palaniswamy urged Prime Minister Modi to take up the matter personally. Samajwadi Party patron Mulayam Singh Yadav and his brother Shivpal on Tuesday participated in a meeting of the Lohia Trust, during which 4 Akhilesh Yadav loyalists were removed as its members. The former Samajwadi Party chief replaced the 4 Akhilesh loyalists with Shivpal camp followers in the trust. Akhilesh Yadav, Ram Gopal Yadav and Azam Khan, however, were not present at the meeting. And shifting our focus on the international front, at least 9 people were killed and another 164 injured in an earthquake which hit China's Sichuan last night. As per the reports, a 7-magnitude earthquake hit a remote but popular tourist destination in China's southwest, in which 100 people are feared dead and thousands injured. As per China Earthquake Network's center statement, 5 among the dead were visitors to the popular tourist destination of Xinzhuo National Park. The massive earthquake struck at 9:19 p.m. local time on Tuesday, and the epicenter was monitored at the depth of 20 kilometers. Hours after the last night's 7-magnitude earthquake, another 6.6 magnitude earthquake hit the Jingxi County of the northwest China's Xinjiang this morning at 7:27. President Xi Jinping has called for all-out efforts to rapidly organize relief work and rescue the injured people. Premier Li Keqiang also urged the local authorities to go all out in relief and monitoring work. China's cabinet, the State Council, has sent a national work team to the disaster-hit area to guide the relief work. North Korea has threatened missile strikes near the US Pacific territory of Guam. North Korea's state-run news agency KCNA said that its military is examining the operational plan to strike areas around Guam with medium to long-range strategic ballistic missiles. The threat comes just hours after the US President Donald Trump warned Pyongyang that if they continue to threaten the US, they would face fire and fury like the world has never seen. President Trump's comments followed a media report that the North had made a nuclear warhead small enough to fit inside its missiles. Dubbed the tip of the spear, Guam is a key to the US military's forward-deployed presence in the Pacific. North Korean Army in a statement said that recent US military maneuvers, including an intercontinental ballistic missile test last week and a bomber flight on Monday, may provoke a dangerous conflict. The US flew B-1B bombers over the Korean peninsula on Monday. This was before Trump's warning to the North Korea on Tuesday.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
And now the news from Kenya's presidential elections. Incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta has taken an early lead as votes are counted after Tuesday's polling. With 3/4 of results in, Kenyatta has 55% of vote as against 44% for his rival Raila Odinga. However, the opposition coalition has rejected the partial results and have asked the Election Commission to produce documents. Kenyatta is hoping for a second term in the office. To win outright, a candidate needs more than 50% of the vote and at least 25% in 24 of the Kenya's 47 counties. If that threshold is not met, a runoff vote between the top 2 candidates will be triggered. The Electoral Commission has urged people to wait calmly for the full results. Violence had erupted during the 2007 elections when more than 1,100 Kenyans died and 6 lakh people were displaced.
I know they are my preferred candidate, and it's purely based on, my expectations. Somebody who can deliver, what we as Kenyans are looking for. Somebody who can, you know, create jobs for the young people, services for the taxpayers, money that we are paying. That's actually what I'm looking to see.
So the presidential results will come out fast, and it will be transmitted as soon as possible. After counting, we transmit. Then we continue counting the rest for the other positions.
And a look at some sporting action now in Sports Beat. Ravindra Jadeja edged out Bangladesh's Shakib Al Hasan to claim the top rank among all-rounders in the latest ICC Test match rankings. The left-arm spinner also maintained top position in the bowling charts. However, Ravichandran Ashwin dropped a place to third place. In the batting list, Cheteshwar Pujara gained a place to be the third among the batsmen, while Virat Kohli maintained his fifth position. Wede van Niekerk retained his World 400 meters title in dominant fashion in the World Athletics Championship in London. South African Niekerk stormed to victory in 43.98 seconds ahead of Bahamas' Steve Gardner in second and Sudanese Abdallah Haroon. Niekerk will now look for a double at the championship with his 200 meters race still remaining. Spanish and European champions Real Madrid retained the UEFA Super Cup with a 2-1 victory over Manchester United in Skopje. Madrid dominated from the start and led with a goal from the Casemiro. Isco doubled the lead for Madrid before Lukaku pulled one back for United. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Breakfast News. Keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.